All right. In this video, I wanted to talk about this analogy I don't know. I'm sure someone else has come up with this before, but this just kind of clicked in my mind right now. So before I get into this, I don't have any children. I'm still pretty young, so I don't plan on having children at the moment. But I imagine these two things would be relatively similar. So what I want to compare is like raising a child. Like I have to say again, I've never raised a child before. So yeah, obviously there's gonna be faults in what I say, but I wanted to compare raising a child to learning a language because from what I've seen, uh, they seem pretty similar. So if you had if you had a child and the child was, let's say, a 1-year-old child would represent the very early beginner stages of language learning. If you were to just send that child out alone, like it wouldn't survive, which is the same with language learning. If you were to start learning a language and you were in the early beginner stages and then you just stopped, you're gonna forget everything. Like the language won't survive. But um, if the child were, let's say, uh, like 10, and then it were to there's some stories of feral children that have survived in the jungle and stuff like that. I'm not sure how true these stories are. They could be false, but I've I've heard a couple of them. But yeah, like the child could survive. So if you get your language to let's say like a more advanced beginner, like not quite intermediate, but a more advanced beginner stage, and then you were to stop, the language could survive because like you have enough of a basis in the language that you won't forget everything. And then going farther into this, um, if the child were 16, let's say the child was 16, that would represent an intermediate stage in language learning. I'd say. Um, it's pretty likely that although it'd be difficult, it's pretty likely that the child could survive on its own. It'd be very hard, but like the child could do it. So if you have an intermediate level in the language that you're learning, um, yeah, you could probably stop and go on and learn a different language, and obviously you'd have to keep you wouldn't completely stop learning a language. You wouldn't be focusing on it. But at that stage, you could stop focusing on the language and still retain quite a bit of it or most of it. And then when the child hits 18 or the child's an adult, I'd compare that to like a C1, C2 level where you've reached a native like fluency and you feel comfortable in the language. You can say most of what you want to say in the language. And yeah, at that stage, you could stop learning it and then like go on and learn a different language without putting too much focus on that language, without having to worry about forgetting it, because at this point it's ingrained in your mind. It's like an 18-year-old child like going off to college. Um, although they might still need some parental help, they can for the most part survive on their own. And then yeah, probably a pretty bad analogy. I don't know if anyone's gonna agree with this, but yeah, it's just what I thought. But yeah, thanks for watching.